Hello dear listener, welcome. As the quiet settles around us, and the day's last echoes begin to fade, let us embark on a gentle journey into a realm as old as thought itself, a realm woven from words, from whispers, and from the deep, resonant hum of human experience. Tonight, we will drift through the expansive, tranquil landscapes of literature. Imagine, for a moment, the very essence of literature. It is, at its heart, simply any collection of written work. A vast, shimmering tapestry of human endeavor, stretching from the earliest carved symbols to the fleeting pixels on a screen. But even this broad definition, while accurate, only scratches the surface of its profound beauty and impact. For within this vast collection, there are those writings that ascend, that transcend mere information, to become something more, an art form. Think of the delicate dance of a poem, the sprawling architecture of a novel, or the vibrant breath of a play performed on stage. These are the pinnacles, often, of what we call literature in its narrower, more cherished sense. They are crafted with intention, imbued with emotion, and designed to stir the soul, to awaken the mind. And yet, the beauty of literature is its boundless nature. It embraces not only the printed page, with its comforting rustle and the scent of aged paper, but also the boundless, ephemeral realm of digital writing, flickering across screens, instantly accessible, endlessly interconnected. But our journey tonight leads us even further, back through time, beyond the invention of the letter itself. For in recent centuries, our understanding of literature has beautifully expanded, reaching back to embrace what we now lovingly call oral literature. Imagine the fireside stories, the epic poems recited from memory, the songs sung through generations, carrying the wisdom and dreams of entire cultures. Much of this rich, vibrant tradition, once thought lost to the winds of time, has now been carefully transcribed, allowing its ancient echoes to resonate with us today. Literature, in all its forms, serves a fundamental, deeply human purpose. It is a method, ancient and enduring, of recording. Think of the immense relief, the quiet triumph, in knowing that a thought, a feeling, an event, can be captured, set down, and held. It is a way of preserving, shielding moments, ideas, and truths from the relentless erosion of time. And crucially, it is a method of transmitting. It allows the whispers of the past to reach us, the insights of one mind to illuminate another, across continents, across millennia. It transmits knowledge, building bridges between generations of thinkers, and it transmits entertainment, weaving tales that enchant and captivate, offering solace and escape. But its roles run deeper still, touching the very core of what it means to be human. Literature can have a profound social role, shaping collective identity, forging shared narratives that bind communities together. It holds a significant psychological role, allowing us to explore the labyrinths of the human mind, to empathize with characters, to understand ourselves better through the mirror of another's experience. It can be a spiritual anchor, carrying sacred texts, mystical poems, and philosophical treatises that guide our search for meaning and connection. And it possesses a potent political role, challenging power, inspiring revolution, or subtly shifting the currents of public thought. Consider the act of recording, for a moment, from a philosophical perspective. What drives this innate human desire to commit our experiences, our knowledge, to something external? Is it not, in part, a gentle protest against our own transience? A quiet striving for a form of immortality, where our thoughts might outlive our physical forms? When a writer pours their heart onto a page, they are, in a very real sense, sending a message into the future, a hope that their voice will echo, that their wisdom will find a listener. The preservation of this knowledge is not just about facts, it's about the preservation of consciousness itself, allowing the thoughts and feelings of those long gone to interact with our own present moment. And the transmission? It's the ultimate act of generosity, a sharing of the inner world, a gift from one mind to another, across the vast distances of time and space. From a scientific standpoint, the very act of engaging with literature is a marvel. When we read, our brains are not merely decoding symbols. We are activating complex neural networks, constructing vivid mental models of worlds, characters, and emotions. The social and psychological roles of literature find their echo in the fascinating field of neurolinguistics. Reading stories, especially those that delve into complex human interactions, has been shown to enhance empathy, to broaden our understanding of diverse perspectives. Our mirror neurons fire as we imagine the joys and sorrows of characters, allowing us to experience a simulated reality that enriches our own emotional intelligence. The written word, carefully chosen and arranged, can sculpt our understanding of the world, quite literally rewiring our neural pathways to foster new insights. In the academic landscape, the study of literature has always held a special place. Literary criticism, a discipline as old as organized thought itself, is deeply concerned with the intrinsic merit or the intellectual significance of specific texts. It's an exploration into why certain works resonate so powerfully, why they endure, why they continue to speak to new generations. What makes a piece of writing high quality? Is it the elegance of its prose, the depth of its characters, the originality of its ideas, or the profound truths it unearths? These are the questions that critics gently ponder, teasing apart the threads of narrative and meaning. Yet, this is distinct from another fascinating field, the study of books and other texts as physical artifacts or cultural traditions. This falls under the umbrella of textual criticism or the history of the book. Here, we might consider the very paper, the ink, the binding of an ancient manuscript, tracing its journey through time, understanding how it was created, copied, and consumed. It's a journey that reveals not just the words, but the physical embodiment of those words, the hands that wrote them, the eyes that first beheld them. Sometimes, when we speak of literature as an art form, we are almost synonymously referring to literary fiction, stories crafted with the express goal of artistic merit. These are the novels that transport us, the short stories that linger in our minds long after we've read the final word. But the generous embrace of literature extends far beyond the purely imaginative. It also encompasses a vast array of non-fiction genres, each with its own quiet power. Think of the intimate revelations of a biography, tracing the life of an individual through their triumphs and struggles. Consider the deeply personal reflections found in diaries and memoirs, offering a direct window into another soul's most private thoughts. The quiet exchange of letters, often revealing the unfiltered realities of historical moments, or the insightful, often provocative ideas contained within essays. Within this broader, all-encompassing definition, literature warmly welcomes non-fictional books, articles, and any other written information that illuminates a particular subject, transforming mere data into digestible, thoughtful prose. The evolution of technology has played a pivotal role in shaping the very landscape of literature. The invention and subsequent developments in print technology, from the movable type to modern presses, allowed for an ever-growing distribution and proliferation of written works. Imagine the quiet revolution of Gutenberg, the slow, steady spread of knowledge and stories, reaching more and more hands, touching more and more minds. This was a democratization of the written word, a quiet unleashing of its power. And now, in our own time, the digital era has introduced another profound shift, blurring the lines between online electronic literature and other forms of modern media. The screen has become a new canvas, hyperlinks a new form of narrative connection, and the global reach of the internet an unprecedented stage for literary expression. Philosophically, this technological progression invites us to ponder the very nature of authorship and readership. Is a digital story less real than a printed book? Does the fleeting nature of online content diminish its artistic value, or does it simply redefine our understanding of permanence? The boundary between art and information grows deliciously porous in this digital age. A carefully researched non-fiction piece, presented with clarity and grace, can be as artistically meritorious as a novel. The art lies not just in invention, but in the elegant, precise, and compelling conveyance of truth, whether factual or imagined. The sheer volume of information now available through digital means challenges us to discern, to critically engage, and to find the signal within the noise, a skill literature has always quietly fostered. Let us consider, for a moment, how the very definition of literature has gently shifted, like the slow currents of a river, through the ages. In Western Europe, prior to the 18th century, the term literature was a grand, encompassing umbrella, denoting all books and writing, without the fine distinctions we sometimes apply today. It was simply the realm of the written word, a vast repository of human endeavor. In a beautiful return to older, more inclusive notions, our contemporary understanding is once again broadening. Fields like cultural studies, for instance, now embrace not only the canonical works, those masterpieces traditionally revered and studied, but also warmly include popular and minority genres. This is a recognition that stories, wisdom, and artistic expression are not confined to a privileged few, but flow abundantly through all corners of human experience, in all its diverse and vibrant forms. It's an acknowledgement that a pulp novel, a protest song lyric, or a folk tale, while perhaps not meeting the strict criteria of an older, narrower definition, nonetheless contributes to the rich tapestry of human storytelling and cultural understanding. And this widening embrace has even allowed the term to gently reach beyond the written page entirely. We now comfortably speak of oral literature and the literature of pre-literate culture. This is a significant philosophical shift, challenging the very etymological roots of the word. Etymology, the quiet whisper of words telling their own history. The term literature itself derives from the Latin literatura or literatura, meaning learning, writing, grammar. Its original sense was quite literal, writing formed with letters, stemming directly from litera or litera, which means letter. It's a beautiful reminder of the foundational importance of the alphabet, the building blocks of written language. And yet, despite this clear connection to letters and writing, the term has, with time and grace, expanded to be applied to spoken or sung texts. This is a testament to the powerful human impulse to categorize and understand, even if our language needs to stretch and adapt to accommodate new insights. Literature is often referred to, synecdochically, simply as writing, especially when we speak of creative writing, a testament to the active, imaginative act of creation. And poetically, it is known as the craft of writing, or simply the craft. Sid Field, a master of screenwriting, eloquently described his discipline as a craft that occasionally rises to the level of art. This distinction is a profound one. The diligent, practiced skill of craft, honed over time, can sometimes, in moments of inspiration and genius, elevate itself to the sublime realm of art, touching something universal and eternal. There has also been, historically, a value judgment definition of literature. This perspective considered literature as consisting solely of high-quality writing, works that formed part of the belles lettres, or fine writing, tradition. Imagine a time when only the most polished, the most intellectually profound, the most aesthetically beautiful works were deemed worthy of the title. An example of this can be found in the 1910 to 1911 Encyclopaedia Britannica, which classified literature as the best expression of the best thought reduced to writing. This definition, while perhaps exclusive, points to a noble aspiration, the pursuit of excellence in language, the desire to capture the highest thoughts and present them with the greatest clarity and beauty. Philosophically, it raises questions about who determines what is best, what constitutes fine writing. Is quality inherent, or is it a matter of cultural consensus, changing with the tides of taste and societal values? The beauty of the evolving definition is that it allows us to appreciate this historical pursuit of excellence, while also opening our hearts and minds to the vast, diverse, and sometimes unconventional forms of expression that also enrich our human story. Now, let us turn our gaze to the deep, silent wellsprings of literature, stretching back into the mist of time, long before the invention of the letter, long before the scratch of pen on parchment. Let us consider the profound, enduring legacy of oral literature. The very use of the term literature here can, at first, seem to pose a gentle paradox, given its Latin origins in litera, meaning letter, fundamentally, writing. Alternatives such as oral forms or oral genres have been thoughtfully suggested, attempting to capture the essence more accurately. Yet, the word literature has been so widely adopted, so deeply woven into our understanding of storytelling, that it now comfortably embraces these ancient, spoken traditions. It speaks to our human need to gather all expressions of wisdom and narrative under one loving canopy. Imagine, if you will, the vastness of time and the incredible resilience of human memory. In the sun-drenched landscapes of Australia, Aboriginal culture has thrived for tens of thousands of years, sustained and enriched by unbroken oral traditions and oral histories, passed down from elder to child, generation after generation. These are not merely stories, they are maps, laws, spiritual guides, and detailed records of a land and its people. A profound scientific and historical revelation emerged in February 2020. A study presented new evidence suggesting that both the Budge Bim and Tower Hill volcanoes in Victoria, Australia, erupted somewhere between 34,000 and 40,000 years ago. This dating is profoundly significant. It provides a minimum age constraint for human presence in Victoria, pushing back our understanding of ancient human habitation. But even more breathtakingly, it offers compelling evidence, a quiet validation, for the oral histories of the Gunditjmara people, an Aboriginal Australian people of southwestern Victoria. Their ancient stories speak of volcanic eruptions, weaving these fiery events into their mythologies and histories. These could very well be some of the oldest oral traditions in existence, living narratives that span epochs, connecting us directly to an unimaginably distant past. The discovery of an axe, found underneath volcanic ash in 1947, had already offered tantalizing proof that humans inhabited the region before the eruption of Tower Hill, a silent artifact corroborating the spoken word. Oral literature is not unique to one corner of the world, it is an ancient human tradition found, in its myriad forms, in all corners of the world. Modern archaeology, with its patient and meticulous uncovering of the past, has been steadily unveiling more and more evidence of humanity's tireless efforts to preserve and transmit arts and knowledge that depended, completely or partially, on an oral tradition, across a multitude of cultures. Consider the deep roots of the Judeo-Christian Bible. Modern scholarship reveals its profound oral traditional foundations, layers of spoken stories, laws, and prophecies carefully remembered and transmitted before being committed to writing. Imagine the medieval European manuscripts, not simply written, but penned by performing scribes, individuals who may have recited the text aloud as they wrote, their hands and voices working in harmony. Think of the geometric vases from archaic Greece, whose intricate designs, some scholars suggest, mirror the formulaic structures and rhythmic cadence of Homer's epic oral style. Indeed, as one scholar so eloquently put it, if these final decades of the millennium have taught us anything, it must be that oral tradition never was the other we accused it of being. It never was the primitive, preliminary technology of communication we thought it to be. What a beautiful reevaluation. Rather, if the whole truth is told, oral tradition stands out as the single most dominant communicative technology of our species as both a historical fact and, in many areas still, a contemporary reality. This is a profound statement, urging us to recognize the enduring power and sophistication of the spoken word. The earliest poetry, with its rhythmic beauty and mnemonic aids, is widely believed to have been recited or sung. It was not merely for entertainment, it was a powerful, practical tool, employed as a vital way of remembering history, of preserving intricate genealogies, and of enshrining sacred laws. Imagine the chant, the rhythm, the repetition, not as artistic flourish alone, but as the very glue that held a culture's knowledge together, ensuring its survival. In the vast, ancient lands of Asia, particularly in India, the transmission of rich folklore, intricate mythologies, and profound scriptures in different Indian religions was achieved predominantly through oral tradition. These vast bodies of knowledge were preserved with astonishing precision, often with the help of elaborate mnemonic techniques, memory aids that engaged every faculty, ensuring accuracy across countless generations. The early Buddhist texts, for instance, are also generally believed to be of oral origin, carefully guarded and passed down by devoted monks through the power of spoken word and memory, before finally being committed to writing. Philosophically, the enduring presence of oral literature invites us to contemplate the very nature of truth and memory. When stories are not fixed in the immutable permanence of writing, they possess a fluid, living quality. They can adapt, subtly shifting in emphasis or detail to resonate with a new audience, a new generation, while still preserving their core truths. This communal aspect of oral tradition is deeply significant. Storytelling becomes a shared experience, binding communities together, reinforcing collective identity, and strengthening social bonds. The rhythmic act of listening, the shared space around the storyteller, fosters a profound sense of belonging. The resilience of human memory, capable of preserving vast and complex narratives over millennia, is nothing short of miraculous, a testament to our cognitive capacity and our deep-seated need for narrative. It is a living history, where the past is not a static record but a vibrant, unfolding conversation. And for many cultures, the spoken word, particularly in sacred texts and rituals, carries an immense spiritual significance, imbued with a power that transcends mere communication. It speaks to a deep, primal human need for narrative, a hunger for meaning, a longing to understand our place in the world, a hunger that predated the scratch of any letter upon any surface. From a scientific perspective, the mechanisms behind oral literature are equally captivating. The neuroscience of memory, for instance, reveals the incredible architecture of our brains. How do mnemonic techniques, those intricate memory aids, actually work? They often engage multiple sensory pathways, linking information to vivid imagery, musicality, or spatial arrangements, thereby strengthening neural connections and facilitating long-term recall. The hippocampus, a small but mighty part of our brain, plays a crucial role in consolidating these memories. Linguistically, the analysis of oral performance unveils fascinating patterns, the use of rhythm, often echoing the human heartbeat or the natural world, the strategic use of repetition, not just for emphasis but as a scaffolding for memory, and the presence of formulaic expressions, standardized phrases that allowed storytellers to improvise and adapt while maintaining the structural integrity of their narratives. Anthropology and archaeology provide us with the tools to interpret the subtle clues left by ancient oral cultures. How do we date a story that has no written record? By corroborating it with geological events, with archaeological finds, with comparative linguistic analysis. The Budge Bim and Tower Hill example is a perfect illustration of this interdisciplinary scientific detective work. Cognitive science helps us understand the profound differences in brain activity when we are listening to a story versus reading it. Listening engages areas of the brain associated with auditory processing, emotional response, and narrative comprehension in a different way. The prosody, the intonation, the pacing of the storyteller's voice adds layers of meaning that are not always present on the silent page. Evolutionary psychology invites us to ponder why humans developed such complex and enduring oral traditions. Beyond the practical transmission of knowledge, these traditions served a vital role in social bonding, in establishing shared values, in transmitting cultural norms, and in fostering cooperation within groups. The act of sharing stories around a fire, under a vast, star-pricked sky, was not just about passing on information, it was about building community, about weaving the fabric of human connection. So, as we bring our gentle exploration to a close for tonight, let us reflect on the quiet immensity of literature. It is not just words on a page, nor sounds in the air. It is the vast, living memory of humanity, a continuous dialogue across time and space. It is the whisper of the past, the voice of the present, and the hopeful echo reaching into the future. It is our shared heritage, our collective wisdom, our boundless imagination. May your dreams be filled with the gentle stories, the profound thoughts, and the quiet beauty that literature offers. Rest well, dear listener. Until our next tranquil journey, sleep deeply.